Hello. Like I said in the other video, excuse my voice, I've got a growth in my throat, so it makes me sound like an 80-year-old. So I do apologise. Right, what you've got on the screen there are two old promo discs that I made. I thought it'd be good to show you some of the videos that we made for some of the events back in the day. There's a funny story to these two promos. They actually cost me my YouTube channel, because when I first made them I put really good background music on it, with multiple tracks, edited really tightly, and it's beautiful. And I thought I had the copyright to the music because I knew the people that make the music. And unfortunately there's these agents now that buy all the copyrights, and what they do, they take a percentage of your revenue from advertising that you get if you get lots of hits. And I got hit with multiple copyrights on it. And normally they're quite happy, just you get a warning, they take a percentage of your money. But because this was my personal site, it wasn't meant for getting lots of hits. It didn't have a lot of hits. It was just for me to store all my videos on, all my, because I didn't want to store. I created so much content that if I had to put it on hard disks, I'd have a room full of hard disks. It just made sense to keep it all on YouTube. And I thought it was safe there, but I didn't. They gave me a copyright and closed the bloody site down. I lost everything, all my videos. That's one of the reasons I've hardly got anything to show. So anyway, I've got a new YouTube channel, so there's no noise on here. So what I'm going to do is talk over it, and it's a chance for me to talk and not fill you with more walls of text, which I just do. Actually, I can't help myself. And what I thought was, if I play them, when I play the videos, I'll just leave them running and I'll talk over them, and you can listen. Treat it as B-roll, in the background going on while I'm talking. And then if you're so inclined, you can watch it again, turn me off, get rid of the voice, and just watch the video. And stop and pause it and fast forward bits you're not interested in, 'cause some of them are quite long. So that's the format I'm hoping that works. So, and also it's split into two sections. I explained that while I'm talking. Right, okay, we're ready? We're ready. This is the first one. There's a reason that the first section. This is when we were doing the real big events. And we were doing the full. We were a production house that did all the installation, all the video projectors, all the video walls, all full crew. And the second one is when the industry contracted, and I had to think about survival like a lot of the companies, and we were no longer doing all the installations. I was just going round. Well, I'll explain it. I was more of a DJ, VJ DJ, and the second section. But anyway, let's start the first one. Obligatory introduction. Back when it very first started, there was a reason it became really popular. And that was because of, we used to do a lot of these sort of events. That people were how do I put it? It was due to the drugs, basically. When raves first started, E was incredibly powerful, and it broke down class barriers. Because the class in America and Britain, although we think we're meritocracies, we're not. There's a huge bloody separation between the classes, and they all hate each other. And of course, when you're born, you're pure. You love babies love everybody. It's pure. And as you get older, society moulds you into what we become, and you don't even know you become it. The middle class who work with working class don't know they don't like them, but they don't like them. It's because it's so deep. Well, anyway, this ecstasy, unlike other drugs like beer and cocaine and all the other drugs, you lost your inhibitions with those other drugs, but ecstasy did something different. It actually changed your perception. It it stopped you hating people. And you loved everybody. And when you went to the events, everybody was all over each other, their arms over everybody. But it was never sexual. It was always this appreciation of the being. I am special, you're special, I want to communicate with you, I want to touch you, I want to talk to you. And that was so opening for people. That's why it exploded, the whole scene exploded, because people had the weekends where they became pure and they loved other people. And it was funny watching them come down, because when they come down, there was they turned back to normal. There was an equilibrium of normality. And just like beer and alcohol, when you get drunk you have a hangover. Hurts, doesn't it? That's because you're adjusting to normal. And it's quite funny at the raves. What you used to see was everybody used to drive all over the country to the raves. And after a rave, 6 o'clock in the morning, every bloody that's a tent. This is actually tents. I should talk about the video, shouldn't I? This is a tent we modelled this tent on the real tent that we used to use at festivals. And if you look closely, you will see on the screens video of the last event or the next event. As you can see, it's going through. We were quite good at that. So yes, the reason we were so anyway, that was why it was so big. The reason why we got the work we got was because of this consistency. Like that was the last event or the next event, and we learned how to put video into a 3D space. So that was a replica of the stage, and that was one of the videos you're going to see on the screens. It's running a bit slow, I don't know why. I think it's because I've just done another video using loads of old HTML, and I think the system's a little bit unhappy. What we started, we'd start off with the flyers, like those were Pez. Anybody heard of Pez? Is a really good artist. And we would turn the flyer, rebuild it in 3D, and that started as the flyer. And then we're just, once we built it, we could do all sorts of things we could bring it to life. And that's why we were the only people doing that, and that's why the promoters loved it, because it was pure branding, but it's done well, you know. Really did make a big difference. So yeah, thank you, Pez, for letting us work. We worked. Your work was an inspiration, and you know, we started with your flyers, but we took it to another place, you know. And I'm fairly convinced that it was this difference that made our event so different from everybody else's, is why the events we worked at become the top events. And I'm sure that this played a big part. I know I'm blowing my trumpet, but it's true, I'm convinced of it. So this is nearly over. I've talked all the way through. Huh? I didn't talk much about the video, but I was talking. I think it's important to know what happened, because that's part of the reason the drugs changed, and I'll talk about that in the next video. You don't need to see any more of this, do you? Right, so that's the old promo video. Then what happened was the drugs changed. So I'll put this in. The drugs changed, and they lost that effect. There was a little bit of ecstasy in them, but they became mostly amphetamine and cocaine. The crowd started to drink beer again, and they stopped touching each other and loving each other, and they were just off their heads. It was a different market, and that I think that was part of the reason the market contracted. And a lot of the companies I was working with closed down, you know. And I had to think, how do I do this cheaper? Those big animations. Like, because what you do, when you do an event, your production is a percentage of your ticket sales. So the more sales you get, the more money you can spend on production. So when the events got smaller again, there was less money on production. And that affected everybody, including me. So what I did, I got my mixers and stuff and got it all shrunk down because of new technology, and I managed to fit it in a big bag And instead of taking a massive crew with the vans, I went with a big on the train to the events, and I became like the DJs, but I was a VJ. And I'd done a deal with the promoters and the lighting companies for them to do the installation of the screens, so I didn't have to worry about that. Although I lost a bit of profit. And all these videos now, you can see there's a difference, because I was experimenting, I was using flash, I was doing all sorts of things, because it was cheaper and quicker. And but then I was missing 3D, and this was an event for Rave a Baby. Now the thing, I could do it a little cheaper though, because see that baby, I didn't make that baby. I purchased it from a website that sold models that could be animated. There were thousands of points that I could move and animate. I could even use motion capture. It's called rigging, and rig it to the character. Total new world, made animation a lot quicker, a lot easier. The only thing I'll say is it was a baby for Rave a Baby, and the Rave a Baby was popular at the time. There was a thing where they were dancing, that model was dancing, it was all over the internet. But it was naked. But there were two versions, there was one with genitalia and one with that, and we used the one with that. And I never thought, nobody thought anything of it, but I think you couldn't get away with that now, even though it's got no genitalia. You know, you'd have to, it's like, you know, in America they're putting, they're covering up the nudes, the statues. The world's become so puritanical. And this is, I start really getting good with Rave a Baby. I'm getting the hang of the 3D again. So there's the flyer, and there's the baby. See, I could do anything with the baby. I'll let you watch it. So the flyer spins round, doesn't it? The baby spun it round. But then it goes into the world that I've built, which is a turntable. And the baby's the DJ. And the space he's in was based on the copula. You know, on the space station there's a little place where you can look at the Earth, and if you look closely you can see the Earth behind spinning. And I've got a crystal, because I was just into doing all effects and stuff. So this was and this was so far out of my budget, you know. I didn't really charge them for this animation really. I just charged them my normal VJ fees. Like DJs, some DJs get 50 quid and some get 2,000 quid, depending on what you bring to the organisation. Luckily, although I was just DJing, my reputation was high enough, but it still didn't pay. I still didn't charge them for the animations. I should have carried on using Flash, but sometimes money's not the driving force, isn't it? You know, it's about creativity, and I really wanted to go back into 3D, and I found a way to do 3D simpler and quicker. It wasn't as good, it wasn't as in depth as what we were doing before. And it forced me to be more creative. Like, I was going all around the country doing clubs all over. Like this was Carlsberg Academy, O2 Academy now it is now, in Bristol. And I thought, before EastEnders did it, by the way, I thought, I'll get Google Maps and zoom into the venue. And that's the Carlin Academy. That's the Carlin Academy in Bristol. And we were in that room. And it was like watching the crowd, looking at the screen, thinking, hey, that's where we are. These are a series of events I did for Ben in Cambridge. And for Ben's events, we did, oh no it wasn't, this was Accelerated Culture, I think. Oh, Global Energy. Yeah, Hardcore Till I Die. I did a lot of Hardcore Till I Die. I haven't got it on, I haven't got most of my videos because like I said, I lost it all on the first takedown, which is why there's no sound on it. So I don't know, I got the flyer into the video because I understood that part of my reason for me being there was because of my branding, and the promoters loved it, the DJs loved it when I was doing their names up on the screen. So yeah, branding was really important. Although the animations never had the attention that they did before, you know. But I was creative, you know, in my own way. I looked at the flyer. And we're nearly at the end, don't we? And these were animations that we used, all these for Hardcore Till I Die. I used to do a lot of Hardcore Till I Die. We used to do events in Spain every year. And that is amazing. I really enjoyed those events. although it made me ill, you know, because I was doing it on my own. And it was just too much for me. I think my illness now stems from these events I was doing on my own. But I don't regret it. I wouldn't change anything for the world. I was really happy to be there. See, I think a lot of this is... I'm mixing all sorts of tricks here. I'm using flash, I'm using 3D tricks, just to make it cheaper, you know, for me to make, because this was a lot quicker to make than 3D all the way. This is an interesting video. It's made by a friend of mine who I met on the first ever Alcalá Die in Spain. He was part of a Swedish contingent, because we used to attract people all over the world. And we became very good friends. We're friends now. I was going to go and visit him on my mail trip. I'm so gutted I didn't, because Eric was one of the people I really wanted to see, along with, you know, there's quite a few people I wanted to see. I'm really gutted, even though I joked about, oh, I bet you're glad I'm not coming. Really, I didn't want to see them on, you know, my railway trip, which had to get cancelled because I just wasn't up to it physically. So, yeah, this was strange. I was running out of time, and I thought, what? I didn't have time to do the car. So what I did, I put the flyer on the car body as a skin. And it was, I thought it's okay. But I don't know now. I think at the time I convinced myself it was okay. But, and it was driving on the flyer, the event flyer as well. So that made the crowd know that this animation was part of that event. That's a lot of work for one club night, you know. And I wasn't really charging them for the animations. I was just charging them as a good quality VJ. So, yeah, it gives you a little idea of a lot of this isn't the best animations. This is just what I've got on my bloody computer today. What I was having a look, because I was doing this as an old promo I did. But yes, I think it's a bit longish. Let's go further. Is that the end? I think it's the end. Oh yeah, that's the end of everything. Okay, well thank you for watching that. I thought this was the best way of showing you without you know, you get two for one, didn't you? I'm like the Morrisons of video. You get the video to watch, and like I said, if you want to, you can turn me off with pleasure and just watch the videos, if you want to. Oh, it's playing again, look. Okay, I'll let them run anyway, I'll let them run. And thank you, I'm going to turn the camera off. You have a good weekend.